okay, there shouldn't be more snow today, but apparently later in the week there is. For now, there was actually a couple of shots I didn't get yesterday. I was wondering if it will still be there. It is Boxing Day today too, so I thought I'd check out the mall later on just to see what the rush is like. Thinking in terms of what I need to buy, there isn't really anything I need. The only thing I'm a little worried about is the hard drive, whether or not that's gonna go nuts. And in general, yesterday I actually uploaded a 4K video footage of the drone video just as a test because I only have a few days left. I've been working on all those videos, seeing if I can convert them all to the 4K, and holy, it's coming out really long, like I said, almost like an hour long. I'm basically going blind right now in terms of compiling everything in 4K because, as you guys know, I don't use a 4K monitor, funny enough. I know everyone's gonna be like, what, you have this and this without a 4K monitor? Hey, you have to budget in some ways. But in general, that's kind of how I'm thinking in terms of uploading individual clips, so to speak, from the previous vlogs, just so people have an easier access to them, because again, some people said they were having difficulties trying to locate specific types of footages. So that was a test, so if anyone notices any technical errors or anything like that, feel free to let me know now, because I only have a few days left before I go nuts in terms of trying to export everything. And it's going to take a while to export all that stuff in 4K. One thing I can't really tell is some of the footages actually earlier on I shot them at 2.7K, so I don't really know how it looks like on a 4K monitor when people see it at that resolution. Because to me it looks fine because I see it in a small monitor, but maybe people that have a bigger monitor will notice the difference. And this is post-Christmas Day, and I was just researching online saying, okay, let's see if all the disaster happened that people said would happen. People getting drones for Christmas, or people crashing it everywhere. Apparently, I guess there is. You can even see it online. There's so many stories of people publishing in some ways in a funny, happy way that people crash their drones here. You can even see here, for example, there's like a bunch of photos here where people crash into people's hairs, for example, over and over again. This one says, so my brother, he got a drone here, flew it right into the mom's hair in an accident. How's your Christmas going? How's this one? It says, so my brother got a drone and we went outside to fly it. We ended up losing it for 10 minutes. Merry Christmas. He shows a video here. Looks like they started at the playground. And eventually, as he was flying it, I guess for whatever reason, he just kept going and people were telling him like, stop, stop. And basically he lost it. Makes me wonder how common this is at the same time. Is that actually a good place to practice at your very first time near like a parking lot with all the cars? I would imagine somewhere in the outdoors and open fields would be way better. I guess that's the theme for the drone crashes so far though. For the most part, when I was looking at this, it's basically crashing little drones and getting stuck in people's hair. That seems to be the common crash so far. It's kind of funny when you think about it because even with the other drone, people are always saying these things can kill you. Yet people here, they're joking. When it crashes to them, it's more of a, I guess, an annoyance, a nuisance, or a joke as opposed to something deadly. Although it makes me wonder how many drones, for example, that aren't quote toys, things like, for example, DJI drones. Had there been a lot of crashes for those? I don't think there has been so far from what I read, but apparently from what I gather, it seems like their servers were getting slammed during this time because I guess too many people got things like Sparks and Mavics for Christmas and people couldn't actually activate their products. For the most part, it seems too, people didn't know what was going on for a lot of first-time drone flyers. People were buying it, trying to activate it, and they didn't know what's wrong. And then apparently, again, the servers are down. And a lot of people, even this guy says here, absolutely, it's a damn shame to have so many issues with a brand new product. Hardware is awesome, but seems the customer service and software seems to be far behind. Some people actually were saying how it was ridiculous to actually have to have the internet to log in, I guess, to activate the drone. And people were saying, why is that the case? That's really dumb if all they want to do is fly. It makes me wonder when people buy these, are they more in the mindset of something like, for example, like those toy drones earlier on? Do they just want something to fly where there's no restrictions like that? At the same time, does it make sense to have internet connection for stuff like that because you want things like the geofencing where those drones are quote bigger and more deadlier? Having server problems like that is actually really typical for a lot of tech stuff. For example, even video game activations for consoles when they're first launched. A lot of people have those issues at Christmas. So in that sense, I'm not going to completely say, oh man, they're crazy for not being prepared. At the same time, you could argue, you know, how much money they have. But even in terms of things like the software and stuff, for me, flying a drone, that's actually my main concern, not even so much about pilot error in terms of crashing. I'm more worried about that thing trying to be smart, for example, crashing itself, trying to return home when you tell it no. For me anyways, it's mostly about the software that I'd be concerned about in terms of flying a drone like that. I actually turn off all the internet and stuff usually when I fly. Although in this case, I think the issue is probably because they introduced that thing where you have to connect to the internet, your first flight. That's probably causing people a lot of problem. I can imagine a lot of people who bought that as a gift and saying, for example, oh, I bought this for you like during the vacation, let's fly it now. And now that they can't, they must be really upset. I guess that's one of the disadvantages of having these things require you to have internet connection and stuff like that all the time to activate. Okay, and some tests here again. Yesterday I was actually interested in seeing how the ice water and stuff looked like. Frozen good, huh? Although it looks like if you walk on this, it could easily crack open too. That was a fun flight. Had a lot of interesting people there too, in terms of people that were interested in it. It's kind of funny because the first guy that came up to me that was interested in it, he was an actual pilot. He flew things like a Cessna plane and stuff like that. And I was asking him, aren't you afraid of drones? Like they'll crash into things? They're like, no, not at all. And I was saying how people are afraid it'll, crash into helicopters and all that stuff even if I'm flying in here. And he even said like, no way, just stay off like the runaways or something like that and they'll be okay with it. And he's even saying himself, look how high those things fly. Ultimately, that's what it should come down to, right? Have some common sense on how you're flying it and then everyone will be okay with it. Even here, actually, I think I caught it a bit in the footage. There was people riding, I don't know what that was, an electric toy car in the ice. I mean, what are you gonna afraid there? Some thing's gonna run into like a motorboat or something like that? I mean, like that. A little bit of a common sense, in my opinion, when people are flying this stuff. Okay, don't really need to buy anything, but let's see what the madness is like. People just illegally parking here anyways. Gaming stores have lined up. I thought all the tech guys better shop online. It's one thing to actually get what you're looking for, I guess it's another thing to actually check it out afterwards. Had a hectic day in the mall. See you guys later.